Robert Wyatt, Shleep. In the late 60s and early 70s, Canterbury and Kent produced a number of rock bands who were influenced by jazz and created a style of progressive rock music that is known as the Canterbury sound. The musicians all tended to play with each other in different combinations. Robert Wyatt was the drummer and singer in the Soft Machine, who were one of the best known of these bands. After his departure from the Soft Machine, he formed his own band, Matching Mole, but his career as a rock drummer was cut short when he fell out of a window at a party and broke his back. As a solo act, he made a couple of albums for Virgin Records called Rock Bottom and Ruth is Stranger Than Richard. But the remarkable thing was that he had a hit single with a version of I'm a Believer. Robert Wyatt has a very distinctive voice that divides opinion. He is originally from Bristol and he sings in the same accent he speaks in. There are those that say he sings out of tune, to which he is known to reply that he chooses to sing the notes between the notes. So some thought his I'm a Believer was a joke, but others absolutely loved it. He insisted on appearing on Top of the Pops in his wheelchair despite the protestations of the producers. During the punk era, he released a number of political singles and a version of a Chic song, all on Rough Trade Records. Over the years, if anything, his recordings have become more accessible, commercial even. His latest solo album, Comic Opera, released in 2007, is full of hummable, catchy tunes, and his voice has matured from a whine to a croon. He makes music that is very hard to categorise. He has always had a following and a lot of respect from other musicians. Elvis Costello wrote the song Shipbuilding for him, which was also a fairly successful single. His albums can be quite experimental, especially in the way he sings syllables that are not part of words, or he will just sing tunes as if imitating an instrument. A Robert Wyatt song may include witty lyrics, nursery rhymes, avant-garde horns and jazz piano, but it will always have an element of something to make it listenable. Often he will both play trumpet and imitate a trumpet. The backing music typically features keyboard and layered vocal drones and jazzy drumming. During the 80s he mostly recorded everything himself, but the album Shleep, released in 1997, saw him playing with other musicians. It gained a degree more attention than its previous albums because one of the musicians and collaborators was Paul Weller. It is an album apparently written on the subject of insomnia. It starts with a rocky poppy number with a George Michael Faith Bo Diddley beat. It has many melodic songs, one of which shows a strong subterranean homesick blues feel. The second song is the only really eccentric moment, being a variation on the Grand Old Duke of York. The album also contains one of his best loved numbers, Free Will and Testament, which was also the title of a BBC documentary about him, and contains the line, "What kind of spider understands arachnophobia?" Shleep, Robert Wyatt.